LaserGRBL versus LightBurn. Okay, these are very popular programs for controlling lasers. These are two of the best programs out there for controlling lasers. So, LaserGRBL is free. It only works on Windows. And the guy that makes this, he's constantly updating it. And you can even ask for features to be added. And he adds them pretty fast depending on the feature. Okay, then we have LightBurn. LightBurn is $40 for a year worth of updates. And so you pay the $40, you get updates for a year, and after that year, you still get access to the whole functionality. You just don't get any of the updates that go with it. So once you buy it, and then you get a year's worth of updates along with the purchase. So that's how we look at that. Okay, so one of the biggest differences is LaserGRBL. You can take prepared images and laser them onto things, right? LightBurn has full on design. So I can literally I can take a square here. I can take some text. Let's call these house keys, right? Okay. Let's move them in here. Make them red with a fill. We'll go to cuts here. Yeah, there we go, fill. And then we'll have some circles on the inside. So this one goes on the hook. This one goes on the key itself. And I guess we'll even take this thing and rotate it. There we go. And now we can put this on the hook and it's labeled. So now we know. Oh, I guess let's see, that'd be a cut. That'd be a cut. Okay. Probably put this down to cutting speeds. Like what would this be? 300 or so. That'll get through quarter inch. Okay. Quarter inch acrylic on a CO2 tube, I guess. Okay. Anyways, so you got this design feature in here, right? You got layers. You can run it by group, by layer. Ton of different options in here, right? And then we go to LaserGRBL, and it's a little different. You don't quite have, any way to design stuff. You sort of have a way to arrange stuff. So let's open a file here. I'm gonna open up let's find a grayscale one. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's MLK. All right. And so let's do line to line, grayscale, right? So I can go back and forth and dim the laser back and forth. Now, you can do the same thing with LightBurn, okay? Let's check out LightBurn and that version of it. So I'm gonna open up MLK over here too. Drag it in. Okay. So as I select it, I see the height and width, right? Kind of easy right here. One cool thing about LightBurn that I've seen complained about LaserGRBL is I hit this button. Now everything's in inches. Okay. Back to millimeters because that's what I'm used to. And then as I make it bigger and smaller, it shows me the size here. Okay. Now I can go into this image and I have a lot of the same settings here, but not quite the same. And I'll show you these here. Okay. So let's go to line or grayscale. Okay. So that means it's going to go back and forth. And the darker it is, the higher the laser power is. The lighter it is, the lesser laser power there will be. Okay. I'm going to go back to LaserGRBL here, and it's going to be the same thing, where it's going to go back and forth and change laser power depending on the darkness of the image. So with the grayscale, I've got a lot of options in here. So I can, do a complete custom thing. Well, this one's already black and white. I'm not going to change much here. But if it was colored, I could have the green pop out or the green be darker. I can choose how it turns into gray. Okay, let's go back to just simple average because it's already a gray image. And both of them, I can choose how many lines per millimeter, the direction. I've only got 3 directions here. I've got horizontal, vertical, right, up and down, and then diagonal, which starts down here and just goes diagonally back and forth. Okay, we go back to LightBurn here, And I can do like 5 degrees, right? I can do 22 degrees. I can do 30.56 degrees. Oh, I guess I can't do points. Okay. But, I can do like all sorts of weird angles here. So it can also do, 90. It can do 45. It can do 135. 135. There we go. Which is similar to, oh, I guess I could do bidirectional. There we go. Okay, so I got all those options in here. I just don't have, like, I can't quite modify it. I can't change the contrast. I can't change the brightness. I get what I get. Like, what I'm looking at is what I get here. I can't really change any of the options for this. I can do negative, but I can do that in LaserGRBL too. But I don't quite have all the options I have in LaserGRBL for the image itself. So I do still prefer LaserGRBL for images. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to LaserGRBL here, and let's look at something else. So I'm going to open up Kirby here. Okay, there's Kirby. And I can vectorize Kirby, right? I can do line to line, darken him where it's dark, light where it's light, right? I can also 1-bit dither, and it's got all the same options for 1-bit dithering as it does in LightBurn. It's actually got a few more dithering options in LaserGRBL. So I'll show you that in just a second. But what we're going to look at is vectorize. And so instead of where it's dark, laser, and where it's light, don't laser, right? Instead of the darker it is, the more dots there are. The lighter it is, the less dots there are, right, with dithering. Vectorize finds the edge and follows it, okay? So kind of a cool function. Really light engraving if you want. Or you can cut out all the pieces, right? So let's take a look at LightBurn and how it does. So I guess real quick, we'll go into image. It's got dithering, Atkinson, Jarvis. It's got the same things in LaserGRBL. Anyways, let's see. Delete Martin Luther King. Delete our perfect design here. And let's find Kirby. There's Kirby. Okay. So Kirby here. If I want to vectorize Kirby in LightBurn, I can right click on him and I can trace the image, which, puts the red lines all around him. Very similar to what LaserGRBL does, right? LaserGRBL finds the edges and puts lines there. But LightBurn has a lot more options for that. So LightBurn can do a much better job of finding edges and turning them into vectors. And then I hit OK, and I can pull this off here, pull that vector it found, delete that. Okay, so now I have Kirby here, right? Ready to engrave. And I'll go back to LaserGRBL. Here we have Kirby. Okay, yeah, all the speed and settings and stuff. Okay, ready to engrave. Okay, and now I hit play and I'll just engrave. Okay, all right, I'll just make that outline. But let's go back to LightBurn here. So let's say I want Kirby cut out. What I can do with this is I can split up all these lines into individuals. Let's make them all blue. Okay, so it's just going to follow all these lines except for the outside line. Outside line is going to do a cutout. Now it's going to cut out everything and then drop the blue, right? Or it's going to just lay the blue down like a thin line. It won't actually cut it out. So you have that option here with LightBurn, while in LaserGRBL, you just get what you get. You don't get to, choose what the power of the outer line is, what the inner line is, any of that stuff. Okay, so that's one of the big issues here. Now, LightBurn also has, like, it's a real design studio. Like, it's a real, like, okay, so here's Kirby, right? Let's make Kirby a bookmark. A really awkward looking bookmark. Okay, let's select all this and union it. There we go. And so this part goes in the book. This part sticks out. I guess I do want to cut this part out here. There we go. Oh, not this part though. Whoops, I gotta individual. Okay, select this. There we go. Okay, so now it's gonna cut out this black part and then just do lines across the blue part, so Kirby will be sticking out, saying hi out of your bookmark, right? Really easy stuff to do. You can do that all sorts of things. So it's got some real functions. Like you can do some real designs in here. There we go. Change size like as you wish, which is really cool. Yeah, so those are some of the biggest differences. Uh some of the deeper things here is LaserGRBL will convert things to arcs. So G2, G3, LightBurn will not. LightBurn will only output lines. And so if you put down a perfect circle in LightBurn, it's not actually going to do a perfect circle with your machine or, the best circle your machine can do. It's going to do a ton of little lines here. And you can up how many lines it does in the settings, but it still does them in lines. Wish it would do actual circles for your circle. Not a big deal. Whatever. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. So let's go back to LaserGRBL actually, and we'll go through some of the settings here. So Gerbil. Oh, one of the big ones is overrides. LightBurn cannot do overrides. I cannot speed it up or slow it down during the run. I actually have to stop the run and restart it to change power or speed. While LaserGRBL, you can do it on the fly. Kind of cool. And then LaserGRBL, you can add custom buttons. You can do something like that in LightBurn. It's very similar, but it's already got like perimeter built into LightBurn by default. And you can add a focus button to LightBurn. Okay, so let's go to GRBL, go to settings. So sound, yeah, LightBurn doesn't have any sounds. If I'm doing production stuff, sounds are kind of nice, right? So I know when to wake up and go change out the pieces of wood and start it again. Go back to sleep. Okay, it's got headers and footers you can set in LightBurn. It does not have automatic cooling. That's something LaserGRBL definitely has over LightBurn. I know the Glowforge firmware is now open, and they've been hacking it for a while. And if you have the original, like low end Glowforge, it can't run more than like 10 or 15 minutes before it needs to sit there and cool for 45 minutes, or else you're going to burn out the tube. So LightBurn will not be able to support that, while LaserGRBL can by default support that. I don't know if you have a CO2, chances are you're still using LightBurn. You're just going slow, I guess. Okay, jog control. LightBurn has all this. You can do continuous. You can do click and jog. You can use Command J or the money sign J commands. LightBurn, you can choose to do PWM or dithering. You can do unidirectional in LightBurn. So let's go back to LightBurn here, and I'm going to drop another image. So here's Skull Kid, right? So open up the image to bidirectional, single direction, right? And I can choose whether it goes, left to right or do a 180. And now it's going right to left. So, okay, one thing they just added to LaserGRBL. Let's head back over there. So yeah, that's the big stuff here. It can disable. You can use G0 fast skip on LightBurn if you want to. And they talk to a lot of different things. LightBurn talks to a few more different things. Some specialized stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at the fills. Okay, so if we open a file here, and let's actually reopen Kirby. File, reload, and here's Kirby again, right? And you can do filling. So the old filling, let's see, let's go to, I'll have to lift this up a little bit here. Horizontal old, okay? That means it's going to start over here, darken this line, and then skip all the way over this white line and darken this line, and then do that back and forth. Just go back and forth through everything. The new horizontal just keeps going, doesn't even hit the white area, just keeps going on this black area here, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, just keeps going here, and then it has to stop. Well, now it's going to come in and do this side of it, come up here and do this, so it's way more efficient, right? They just added this to LaserGRBL like a month or two ago. Really cool feature that it has. Okay, well, LightBurn has had that for a while, so let's go back to LightBurn here. Whoops, wrong one. Let's open up the image. And I guess not in the image. Okay, so let's get rid of this guy. Guess we'll have to turn this into a fill. We'll turn it red into a fill. Okay, so as I open this, this has something called flood fill. So once I hit flood fill, it's gonna do that where it's gonna, keep going up here, and then come down here, do the eyes, come down and just do the mouth. So it's gonna try to figure out. I guess I can show you on a preview here. So there it goes. So it's just going up here, right? And then it's going to the eye and just doing this. So it's not doing all these skips. So it's not starting over here and then skipping all this white space and going over here, skipping all this white space, going back. It's actually just staying where the laser needs to be on, just going back and forth right there. So both of them do that now, right? As of 2 months ago. LaserGRBL also does that. So that's kind of nice to have. One big thing LaserGRBL can do, especially for your DIY people, tools, I can flash the firmware from LaserGRBL. So let's say even if I am going to use LightBurn, like I can at least use LaserGRBL to flash my firmware and then go to LaserGRBL and use it, right? I can install my CH340 driver for the cheaper boards through LaserGRBL, which I think is really nice. I know LightBurn's in a ton of languages. I don't know the difference between, what languages LaserGRBL has versus LightBurn. Colors is kind of cool. So LightBurn, you just choose a color and stick with it, right? But I think it's typically red lines on LaserGRBL. But if you're wearing your red safety glasses, you can't see the lines, right? Because everything's red. So it's nice that they added this. But if we go over to LightBurn here, well, I can just use the blue layer, right? I can make the blue layer the fill. So, no big deal there. Like, you're not stuck. You can have all sorts of layers and options here. Setting up your devices is a little easier in LaserGRBL because literally, I select the COM. Let's say I'm on COM 25 and I hit connect. And I might need to do a homing or I just might need to hit unlock, but then I'm ready to go, right? I'm ready to start lasering. LightBurn, I'm going to have to go to devices and then I can either find my laser, which if I have anything plugged in, I would find it. I can create it manually. So yeah, it does a few specialty ones. LaserGRBL sees all these GRBLs as one thing. You don't need to tell them that they're different in here. LaserGRBL also talks to Marlin and Smoothie. Okay, iLaser I think is also a proprietary one. But yeah, so let's see. You select this, go to next. How do you want to connect to it? The size, the dimensions, stuff like that. So it's a little more setup here. You can't just hit connect and go. You actually have to set it up. But it will give you a work area that matches your laser work area. So I don't know. It's a little more professional like that. It's more ready for, I don't know, production that way. uh, One thing that LightBurn has is it has a frame, right? Just like LaserGRBL has. So if I were to click this perimeter button, it would come up to this point right here and, just make a square around it. Same thing here with LightBurn. I can hit this, but it also has this thing, this contoured frame button where it's going to go in here. It's going to go to the right, come up to this point, come at an angle here, and follow the head around to the hand down to this point and come down. So let's say I had a circle, right? It would actually follow the circle around. So if I put I don't know, some wooden plate in my laser, or some oval thing, it would actually follow my pattern that I have on there, which is a really cool thing that it does. I can also have different start positions, which is nice. I like that a lot. Now I know in LaserGRBL you can do that, but you have to do it manually. Have your start position set up. So if I want it in the lower or upper left, I just hit this button. Now I put my laser to the upper left of the image, and it'll start lasering it out. If I want that in a LaserGRBL, let's see, reload the file. I'm gonna trim all this other baloney off. There we go. We just got Kirby. Kirby is 114.7 millimeters high, so now my offset has to be 114.7. Hit create. Yeah, just do it. Okay, so now, oh, did that backwards. Sorry. Try that one more time. Negative, whoops, magic crop next. Offset will be negative 147. Negative 114. Okay, for reals. Hit create. There we go. Now my 0 point's in the upper left. And so I have to manually type that in every time. While in LaserGRBL, I just hit that button. But then I can also, center it, which LaserGRBL does have an auto center button. But yeah, I can have it go from anywhere. I can also have it go from either where I set my origin or where my head's sitting right now. So I can choose. I can also do absolute coordinates. So if I hook up a webcam, which LightBurn does support webcam for watching your surface, watching your cut area, you can have a camera and you can design over like the camera. So if you have your wallet sitting here, I can type in Mr. Guy's super wallet, and then I can actually like place it over the wallet itself if I want. Whoops. Make it small, and then place it over the wallet, and it'll go up there and start lasering the wallet, right? So you can use a webcam on LightBurn here. Kind of a cool function. Oh, there's nothing in there. Let's go back to this. So turn that off so I don't forget. User or current position, lower left. Okay, keep that the same. Okay, so those are the big differences I run into. So I guess one last thing here. Let's go to LaserGRBL here. So file, open file. Let's go to my downloads here. So it can open up. Let's see how to explain this. It can open up G code that's already made for lasers, right? Let's see. It can open up SVGs and actually run around them. Let's see what it comes up with. Yeah, so it can open up SVGs you've already made, right? Okay, so if I want to cut this out on my laser, I can. And let's go to LightBurn and look at that. So with LightBurn, again, it's a design program, right? So LightBurn, I can also bring in SVGs and pre-done G code. But what I like is I can just straight up bring in DXFs. So here's my power supply mount. Here's my right side filler or right side switch. I think it's supposed to say filler. My end stop, and I can arrange them however I want, right? Oh, grab some of that. Okay. Well, anyways, so I can actually move things around. Where in LaserGRBL, I have to design it in a different program, then bring it into LaserGRBL and have it follow it. Anyways, if I'm doing images onto wood, chances are I'm using LaserGRBL. If I'm using a CO2 to cut out parts like this, chances are I'm using LightBurn. So they both have their uses. They both have their pros and cons. LightBurn, the fact that you pay for it, I think it should have a couple more options. It is a really cool design software, but so is Inkscape, which is free, which I used to make all my G code in. But man, LightBurn's convenient. And LaserGRBL, he just he keeps updating it, keeps adding features and functions that are really cool. So I'm really appreciative of that. So they're both cool programs. They both have their uses. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.